From Bilbao, it's Slow TV Radio from The Meeting Point, broadcasting not only to Bilbao but around the world. Hello and welcome back to Around the Table, episode 22, and Happy New Year!
Happy New Year?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's Happy New Year for us. Happy New Academic Year, we might say.
Okay.
And as New Year is a traditional time for the New Year's resolution, I think it's time we started talking about New Year's resolutions in September.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? So, what are the typical resolutions that people normally have for New Year then?
Well, I think there are like 3 or 4 that are always there. Normally is going to the gym.
Yeah, the gym membership.
Yeah.
Now you go to the gym, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you find that lots of people sign up for the gym normally?
Yeah.
I suppose in January.
January and September are like really busy
Yeah.
in the gymnasium.
Is it because people eat too much in the summer and at Christmas?
I think so. And you go, I don't know, a bit excessive with your food, alcohol consumption maybe. And people feel like they need to clean up their system.
Yeah. And people like to make a new start, don't they?
Yeah.
They feel that there's something wrong with their life or it needs correcting in some way.
Well, you can always improve, can't you?
Yeah. And I think it helps if you... I think part of the benefit of making a resolution is that you make it public. Not to the whole world, but you do make a statement to your friends and family, don't you?
That's a good thing to do if you want to do it. I mean, if you are serious about your resolution. So it's more like a commitment to you and to the others.
That's the word I was thinking of, So making a commitment, yes.
Yeah, so if you are serious, let's make it public then. Otherwise, some people, they just think, oh, I'm gonna or learn English, for example.
Yeah.
Health, new habits, learning new abilities. Can be a language or maybe an instrument.
Instruments and skills,
Skills,
arts and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think joining a group as well, and when people sign up for a course, if you pay for gym membership, you are obliged to attend, more or less. You've made a commitment by buying the membership, haven't you? If you could pay for the gym on a weekly basis, maybe people wouldn't make quite the same commitment.
Yeah.
Or if you paid each time you went, rather than paying for the year.
Yeah.
But I think making the statement in front of people, like when people give up smoking, they tell lots of people, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think if you've made that proclamation to your friends, then you're more likely... Well, everybody's going to know if you failed. If you don't tell anyone and nobody knows that you failed, then you're probably more likely to give up, aren't you? I mean, give up on your what you're intending to do.
Not give up smoking.
No. Oh, that's... Okay, there are 2 phrasal verbs to give up, which are very closely connected. But maybe we should talk about those 2 phrasal verbs first. Right, so there's give up when you stop a bad habit like smoking or drinking coffee or beer or taking sugar and things like that. You can give up drugs. So stop doing something that's bad for you. But there's also when you try to do something and you stop because it's too difficult.
I see.
Right, so you can say, I tried to learn Chinese, but it was very difficult, so I gave up.
Yeah.
We tried to get to the top of the mountain, but we had to give up.
Yeah. Oh, we had a bit of confusion there.
Yeah, that's phrasal verbs, you see. Phrasal verbs have multiple meanings sometimes.
Yeah,
This is one of the problems. So you could give up smoking and then give up giving up. Well, that's confusing.
Okay, but
So, and as I was saying, yes, if you make that proclamation to people, you're
Yeah.
more likely to see it through. There's another phrasal verb, to see it through.
yeah.
And if you make a commitment by joining a club, you put down the payment and then you're saying, right, for the next year I'm going to be doing this.
Yeah.
And the same is if you do sign up for a course, like if we talk about learning languages, you sign up for the course and you say, right, every Thursday at 6 o'clock I'm going to do this.
Yeah. I think the problem is with the gym and learning English, for example, is that people don't really think about it when they do it. And maybe they want to learn, but maybe they want to find something different or...
I think you have to sit down and think about why you're doing something and what the benefits are.
Yeah.
I think that's quite a good thing, is to write a list of benefits.
Yeah.
So if you were giving up smoking, you can think of your health.
Yeah.
You can think about how expensive smoking is.
Yeah.
You can think about the benefits to your family and things like that, who have to be with you in, you smelling of tobacco and things like that. A lot of people don't like it.
Yeah.
So if you wrote down the benefits,
And I think having it very close to you, because it's very difficult giving up smoking or having the routine or starting the habit to go to the lessons or to the gym. So whenever you find it difficult, just look at the benefits. And I think that helps.
Another thing that I've noticed recently, in England particularly over the last few years, they've had dry January, where people give up alcohol, but they only make the commitment for January.
Yeah.
And it's like after Christmas and New Year and everyone's drinking far too much, and you start to feel as you get older, you feel the effects afterwards. Maybe you don't feel it when you're young. But they're saying, making a commitment to 1 month, so you're not completely giving up, but you say, right, I'm going to give up for this short period of time. But people then find that it's actually easier to say, I'm only doing it for 1 month, and then I can go back. But they find that it actually changes their lifestyle anyway, because they've been in a bar and had a Coca-Cola or something, and they realise that they don't have to have a drink all the time. And apparently the alcohol-free beers are very popular these days. The sales have gone through the roof. That's a good phrase for you. The sales have gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Because people are trying things that they thought it was impossible, and when they try it for a period of time, they're not making that huge commitment.
Yeah, and I think you can see in a month changes.
Yeah.
And when you see it's good for you, then you keep doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't give up completely, but at least you have it with moderation.
Yeah. And they're doing a thing called Meat-Free Monday as well. So people are not saying, like, I'm going to be a vegetarian, but they're just exploring the possibilities of having meals that don't necessarily have to have meat in them. And so they start with Meat-Free Monday, and then they find that maybe Wednesday is meat-free as well. And they're slowly just finding alternative ways around, rather than going the whole hog. That's a phrase that means doing something completely, 100%, going the whole hog. But maybe that's not appropriate for giving up meat eating, is it? But you know what I mean. So making a statement of, I'm going to stop for this period of time.
Yeah.
Or even if you were giving up smoking, you say, I'm not going to smoke before this time in the day.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted to cut back on drinking, if you drank a lot, you could say, I'm not going to drink until this time.
Yeah.
Until I've finished work.
I think one of the problems is if you think you're giving up forever, makes people anxious.
Yeah.
And then if she's only, well, I try this and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then
so I
you
think
see the benefits. And
cutting down, there's another phrase to cut down rather than give up. So cut down is reduce.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's various things like going to the gym. We spoke a bit about diets then, people often change their diet as a resolution.
Yeah, but I think it's, again, in September and New Year's, because in the summer and Christmas, you change your habits on you.
Yeah.
And maybe it's healthier, the diet you have in the summer. Well, don't forget that it's the summer here, but in other places it's winter time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, for example, I know in South America they don't have this New Year's resolution in September because everything happens in December.
Right.
It's the summer holidays and it's the New Year as well.
Oh,
so
right.
January is the beginning for them. They
Yeah,
don't have this 2 academic year or natural year or whatever.
Oh, right. Okay. Uh-huh.
So anyway, I think you change your habits, your routine. So
I think with Christmas is because people eat a lot of food that's not good for them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sweet things that's kind of, when we discussed celebrations last year, there's a lot of bad food associated with celebrations. And it's probably because in the past, that kind of food was a very rare thing. And you could afford to have like very sweet cakes or something once a year because you didn't have it all the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But now we're exposed to these things all the time, aren't we?
Yeah.
We can have sweets and cakes and chocolate and things like that. So it's not quite the celebration that it was.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had Easter eggs, a chocolate egg for Easter, if you didn't have chocolate the rest of the year, it would be quite a big thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But now we just have too much of this stuff. And we eat generally too much. Lots of meat. And then we wash it down with lots of alcohol. I mean, Christmas time especially.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to academic year then.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the academic year. It's time to start thinking about studying and English courses. Well, I hope all of our regular students that are listening now are going to be coming back. I think we've got a 98% returns, I think.
That's very good,
I think everybody's coming back. Sometimes people have work commitments and people have babies and things like that. It's terribly inconvenient.
It's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny that because most of our people are retired, so they are not really into the academic year, are they?
No. It's all the same. But again, back to routines. We were talking routines. If you're retired, is even more important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you find when you're working, you know exactly what day of the week it is all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
But as soon as you're retired, it's very easy to forget what day you're on.
Yeah. But I think it's funny, as soon as they retire, they fill up their agenda with lots of activity.
Yeah.
They are so busy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, it happened to my parents. They've joined all these different clubs and they're always doing something with one group or other.
Yeah.
They always had a full calendar. In fact, my parents used to have the calendar on the wall and they used to reserve days for staying at home. And they used to write on the calendar, we're not going anywhere. A special day for not going out.
Wow, yeah, they need that as well.
And if anybody tried to book it, they go, no, we can't do that day. I'm sorry, that one's already reserved.
Very good, very good.
So, the other thing for studying languages, yes, one of the benefits of joining a group is actually being in the group, isn't it? Because anybody in theory could do something on their own, but it's always beneficial to do it in a group, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think when you are learning new things, it's much better and almost necessary. Yeah. And again, I think the problem with the English here is that in the traditional academies, there's not much of it's a big group that they're really focused on a book.
Yeah.
So that's why people get so bored, I think. It's just more focused on the exam, and they don't have much time to have fun or to even practice what they learn.
Yeah, I think this is tied into when we were talking pronunciation the other week. It's difficult in a big group. In the majority of situations, you're in a big group and it's easier to do multiple choice tests and do grammar and vocabulary, because that's the nature of the class dynamic.
Yeah.
And you can't have an interesting conversation when you've got 30 people.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, and that's why we have groups of 6 maximum.
Yeah, but it's pretty frustrating for people because they keep trying and they always find the same, and they spend like years trying to learn, and then they find out that they are not able to communicate.
Yeah, and language is about speaking. That's what it is. That's what it was invented for. It wasn't,
for writing essays.
No, that's not what it's for. It's not for writing formal letters to the
council.
To make hotel reservations and things like that. It wasn't invented for that. It was for sharing information and sharing gossip and talking about what you're doing next week and what you did last week. And
ideas, opinions. Yeah.
And I think so when we've got a group of 6 people, I think it's just the right amount. 5 or 6 people is a good number, because if you go over that, it's very easy to split into 2 conversations.
Yeah.
And then, for one thing, I can't listen to 2 conversations at the same time. And then it gets competitive. One gets louder than the other, and everyone gets very noisy.
Especially here.
But if you've got 5 or 6 people, everybody can listen to what everybody's saying, and everybody can take it in turns and comment on what the other person said and add extra ideas into the pool, as it were.
Yeah.
And we can get lots of interesting vocabulary flowing and things like that. And plus, it's not just about learning English. I find people are there because they enjoy the group activity, the companionship of learning with other people.
Yeah. And
the sharing of ideas, and because everyone's got different background from different jobs. They've had different lives in the past. I mean, with the retired people, at least they've got a whole career behind them with all the experiences and knowledge that comes with that. So everybody's got a different angle, a different input and different expertise, because some weeks we'll have one person in the group who's the expert in that field. Like if we're talking architecture and buildings and town planning, there are certain people in the group that know a lot about that kind of stuff, because that's what they were working in before. And other people are more sciences, and we've got biology people, and there's a couple of doctors, aren't there, or medical people who are very interesting if you want information about how bacteria work and things like that. Because it's always a good idea to ask for the expertise, and if somebody knows, we're all there to learn.
It's a learn situation.
A learn situation, yeah. But even if you know something from your career, maybe you've never explained it in English before.
Yeah, that's true.
So it might be your specialist field, but explaining it to someone in another language in a way that everyone can understand is quite a challenge.
It is, yeah.
But people like that kind of challenge. So it's again the communication aspect is about challenges, because sometimes we're talking about topics that people have never had to discuss before in their own language. Sometimes we do some quite abstract things.
Yeah.
We always have the simple ones interspersed with the more complex ones. So sometimes we're talking about travel and things like that, and everyone's got stories about losing suitcases or the worst hotel I ever stayed in, or some stories like that about their holidays. But then we can get on to abstract things like success. And what is success, and what does it mean to be successful in life? And success and happiness and success and money, do these things always go together? So sometimes we have some quite abstract conversations that maybe they've never had to say these ideas before.
Yeah, because I think with those topics, it's very common that you have an idea that is the idea that everybody has. But once you start discussing it, you realize that that's not your idea for success. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. I remember when we discussed happiness, everybody thought that everybody else measured happiness in this way.
Yeah.
Everybody else found happiness through material possessions and things like that. But once everybody started talking, everybody had very simple ideas. And for most people, it was having a coffee with a friend.
Yeah.
And a good conversation actually made people happy. And the ideas that we're fed in the media about what you need to be happy.
Yeah, it's not true, is it?
But everybody thought that everybody else believed it.
Yeah.
But nobody believed it, really.
Yeah. That's why it's good to talk about these things. Because then you realize that you're not the only one.
That's right.
Because sometimes people might be afraid to share their opinions about these topics. Just because they might feel a bit left out. Mm-hmm. But they're not.
But then again, we've got a particular niche market of people who like to communicate, who like to share ideas, and that's why they come for that style of class.
Yeah.
There are people, I've met people that have learnt English and they want grammar, and they think the more rules they can learn, the faster they can speak the language. But
it doesn't work like that, does it?
It's not like learning mathematics or studying law or something like that. If you study law, you memorise some very big books, and then you've got it. Yeah, so I've got this really good text here, all about benefits of learning English in a study group. And I'm going to read it to you.
Oh, nice.
Now listen to this. See if this sounds familiar to you. Joining an English study group, particularly one that emphasises speaking, offers numerous advantages. Firstly, it provides a supportive environment to practice speaking skills. Regular conversations with peers build confidence and fluency, essential for effective communication. Group settings also expose learners to real-life conversational dynamics, helping them adapt to different speaking styles and improving their ability to respond in various contexts. Interacting with others helps to overcome the fear of making mistakes, encouraging a more natural use of the language. Additionally, study groups create a sense of community and belonging. Members motivate each other, share resources, and offer constructive feedback, which accelerates learning and makes the process enjoyable. The collaborative nature of study groups fosters accountability, ensuring consistent practice and steady progress. Discussing various topics in a group enhances critical thinking and cultural understanding, as members bring different perspectives and experiences. This not only improves language skills, but also enriches personal growth.
Oh, very good. That's very, very good.
That sounds just like what we're doing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that bit about overcoming the fear of making mistakes.
Yeah.
That's quite important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I find nearly everybody that comes for the first interview, when we first speak to people, they say, I think I've got all the grammar and I've got quite a lot of vocabulary, but I'm really shy and I'm really afraid that I'm going to sound stupid when I speak. And people have a big fear. It's a real complex that people have.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really realise how good they are if they just relax. And that's good as well, having an environment where you can relax.
Yeah.
And nobody's there to judge anybody. We're all the same.
Yeah.
And people are going to make mistakes. But you have to make the mistakes, don't you?
But making mistakes is not a big problem, though.
No. It's, as I always say, You can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. It's true. It's true. That should be quote of the week. You can't make an omelette without breaking eggs.
We haven't had any quotes for a while.
No. But that's a good one, I think, because it's when you're speaking, you normally find that when someone makes a mistake, the only reason they made the mistake is because they were the one speaking.
Yeah.
If somebody else in the group said the same sentence, they probably would have made the same mistake, because they're Spanglish type mistakes, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's the mother tongue affecting the second language, usually. And but then if you make a mistake, then I can say to them, maybe you should have said it like this. This would be better. You could express this idea in this sentence. And they go, well, that's a good sentence, yeah. And then they know it.
Yeah, it sounds so easy when you say it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. The people say that, it sounds good when you say it. Well, it's my language. Of course it sounds better, yeah. But if they don't try, then I don't know if they've got a mistake in their head until they say it, and then I know they've made the mistake. But if they're thinking a mistake, I can't correct it, can I?
Yeah. We've got the saying, and it's el que tiene boca se equivoca.
What?
El que tiene boca se equivoca.
Okay.
Tiene boca.
Has a mouth.
Yeah. Makes mistakes.
Oh, right, I see. He who has a mouth makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, it's hardly Shakespeare, is it?
We'll talk about that.
Anyway, I think we should finish, don't you?
Yeah.
We're coming up for half an hour. Oh, that was a very interesting discussion again, so thank you very, very much. And, well, don't forget, anyone out there who wants to sign up for the groups, we are... Well, it's not enlisting, is it? We're not military. Enlisting people. People are signing up. Enrolling, that's the word. They're enrolling, yes. People are enrolling now. So book a space. Don't forget, we only have little groups. So look forward to speaking to you all next week with another fascinating discussion. So have a good week. Till next week. Bye.
Bye.